Get up off that feet. It's showtime, yeah.
Listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Welcome all. We have made it to another wonderful episode of the Sportz Nutz. Literally, it's in our eyes, it's the greatest sports talk show that's ever walked the face of this planet. It's just because we're biased on that one. I want to give a special shout out though to everybody tuning in live on 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas, as well as everybody else who's tuning in on TigerNation.live, which airs in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, as well as the other radio stations we are in, plus the 38 other countries we're in. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you all doing that. Man, we have yet another solid episode of biblical proportions. No, I'm just kidding, not biblical. Of epic proportions. We have our good friend, Mr. Marcus MaCullum. He is returning. He'll be here momentarily. We are talking baseball, we're talking basketball, hockey, Olympics, and a whole lot more. But before we get going, my man sitting below me, Shane Owen. What's going on, brother? How you been, man?
Oh, man, been doing good. It's hump day, so middle of the week. Ready. There's a bunch of good basketball games on tonight. We're getting into that second half of the conference schedule, so it's getting real intense now. Tournament time is just around the corner. Just getting geared up, ready to watch some good sports. And, hey, these All-Star break, it's done. We got games tomorrow. So it should be a fun second half of this basketball season for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait because, man, like you just hit the nail on the head, Shane. It literally is getting it's getting really interesting. Like you're seeing teams, unfortunately one amazing player who was a top 5 lottery pick. He is out for the rest of the year, the torn ACL with Texas Tech. I mean, there's so many insane things going on in basketball. My man's sitting next to me though. Pinsman, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Welcome. We made it to Wednesday.
Yeah, we made it. We're here. And our guy Marcus will be here just a month. So before he gets here, let's talk about what we're talking about. We are still kind of in sticker shock about what I'm about to talk about with Oklahoma softball. We'll talk about them. The Major League Baseball season is rapidly approaching. Today we are going to talk about the final division, the NL Central. This one always feels like it's the quiet yet noisy ones. You know what I mean? On that one. And the teams that just in case you didn't know that these teams were, it was the Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then also, as you guys see, we have our – okay, sorry, there's a message coming. We have our guy. He's about to be here in just a moment, but I want to let everybody also know we are can you guys believe that we literally are almost done with the Winter Olympics? I'm not happy about that. I really am not, because I love the Olympics so much. So we'll talk a little bit about that one. Shane has a sports story. I have a sports story. Mike might have a small sports story. We'll talk about that one. Then we have our favorite segment, which is the honorable mentions. And we have you, the most interactive fans ever. All right, guys, let's get it going. Marcus, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Always great to join the show.
Yes, sir, man.
How's it going, Marcus?
Dude, it is always fun having our guy Marcus on here. And I will tell you this. In fact, Marcus, since the last time we saw you, we went from 2 undefeateds in college basketball to 1, and they only have 5 games left. Do you think, Marcus, that Miami of Ohio could go 31-0?
Yes and no. I mean, if we're talking about the finish out this season, sure. Does tournament play, does conference play count in the record? It usually does, right? So
Yeah.
therefore, we have to wait and see till after. I mean, conference play is different, and I've seen the hottest teams go into that situation and walk out a loser. But I think they have a great shot in going into the tournament, going into the 64 tournament undefeated.
Man, it would absolutely be, amazing to see the little ones finally get that notoriety. I mean, we've seen the Gonzagas, we've seen the St. Mary's, obviously seen the UNCs, the Dukes, all those. But when you turn on college basketball, you don't sit there and say, "Man, I'm looking forward to seeing Miami of Ohio." But I mean, I watched that game last night and they won. Man, it's pretty electric to watch them. I mean, I definitely tip my cap to everything that's going on with Miami of Ohio. I mean, wow, just it's absolutely shocking. And then here's the crazy thing too, Marcus. They're barely ranked. They're 26-0. They're the only undefeated team left in men's college basketball, and you're barely ranked.
Yeah, but
That's malarkey.
but strength of schedule still plays a part, and we know that. The competition that you play is real. You can't tell me that Michigan hasn't had a tougher schedule, and having one loss, you that to me is just because you got that one loss as compared to a team that's undefeated, considering where you're playing. Okay, so what is Miami, Ohio a better team than Michigan? I don't think so. Now, obviously in the tournament it's one and done, and it's different than playing like you do in an NBA series where it's best out of 4. Um, I don't. I've never believed that tournament play proves who's better as a team. I've always believed that tournament play comes down to who's playing the best in the moment, and generally coaching plays a major part in tournament play way more than the players themselves. Coaches schemes, their X's and O's, how to rotate, how to know how to work the clock, using the fouls to their advantage, using free throws to their advantage. Because remember, not every team is always good at shooting free throws, and that could actually become no. It's actually a strategy. The
Yeah.
game is so deep. It's not just about shooting 3 pointers and layups, and that's what people when people that's the thing that people I don't think really understand. Kevin Durant does not know how to articulate. Kevin Durant loves to shoot out at people and attack them and question their basketball sense and knowledge. But what Kevin Durant really should do is take the time to educate the fans to the real nuances of basketball, because it's deeper than just, oh hey, I'm trying to get off a pick and roll to shoot a three, or I'm looking to dunk the basketball. I was listening to Carmelo Anthony and DeMarcus Cousins talk on a podcast, and they literally talked about how they missed shots on purpose because they knew that they could get their second jump was faster than another person, so that they could go and get the shot, so they could go and finish the basket on the second attempt. Like, the game is deeper than just what we really want to grasp. And I think when you try to look at it from a broader sense, that you really start to break it down, that when it comes down to tournament play, it does not it's not about who's better. It's about really who's hot and what coach understands the moment and situation the best. because if I really have to say, well, who's the best team right now in the NCAA, I really like Michigan. I really like
Yeah,
Michigan, man.
They look pretty hot. They really
I
do. I can
really
see
like
them.
Michigan.
It's a good it's going to be a good. Of course, also again, it's sad to say it's going to be a good finish to an amazing college basketball season. All right, Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, Marcus, thanks again for coming on. We always enjoy when you come on and talk a little bit of ball knowledge with us. We see the women's college basketball scenes kind of getting in full swing right now. UConn looks like the runaway favorite. South Carolina is playing a lot better ball after a couple of stumbles early in the year. Everything just seems to be getting tighter as the race edges towards the tournament. Who are some of the teams that you're looking forward to seeing and ones that we should watch going into this NCAA tournament with this women's side?
Well, you already called it, brother. I think with Gio Ariema's pedigree and his thirst and chokehold. Once he sees that championship in hand, he really knows how to guide a team. And I just think that UConn's just they're well built. They're prepped for this moment. Even after losing Paige Beckers to the WNBA, I would be shocked if UConn did not get back to the top again. It's been a while for them, uh, and grab that championship. But obviously, you still South Carolina. You could never count out Don Staley. LSU has some stumbles, but at the same time, I feel like they still have a really good team. And then from there, it's a crapshoot. Who could someone could that women's team come out of nowhere and make a run at it this year? I don't think so. I really don't. I really think this is UConn's year to win it.
I could see that. I really could. Now, Marcus, we did, and I'm sure you've seen the news. We lost a true legend in the world of acting this last week.
Rest in peace.
Robert Duvall passed away at the age of 95. They're so, I've run out of fingers and toes. There's so many great movies that he did, and there's some really good sports movies. One of my favorites that he did in sport movies, The Natural. And I just showed my age on that one. But, what are some of your favorite movies that Robert Duvall did that you can remember?
Well, I mean, sports movies. I just can't get away from Days of Thunder. With Cole
Amen.
Trickle. I mean, and him being the pit crew guy. I mean, he was just fantastic. At the top of his game, the guy was so versatile. That he could be, the voice of my family, to being a pit crew boss, to being a lawyer, to being a judge. Father figure. What role could you not put him in? But yeah, that him and Days of Thunder. I just think that's tops. And then obviously Godfather 1 and 2. That's me. That's me showing my age right there. But I mean, like, phenomenal, fantastic. I tell anybody this. He's the type of actor where you literally can pull up his resume, just hit scroll, stop, and pick that movie and put it on. And I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Robert Duvall is synonymous with legendary, 100%. All right, Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, I know we talked a little bit last time you were on about the White Sox, and I figured since we're kind of covering the NL Central here after you get off with us, I wanted to ask you about the Cubbies and
The Cubbies.
what you think that their season is going to look like. I know that they signed a bunch of pitching in the offseason and also a big star in Alex Bregman. But kind of, what are your thoughts on what they might be this season, especially since this might be the last season that core group of like Ian Happ and all them are going to be together, since they're going to be free agents at the end of the year.
Well, the thing that I've really loved is that the Cubs have been very protective of their pipeline, and it's starting to show now where they literally have Nico Horner's backup if needed with Matt Shaw in the fold. but now they've also got Matt Shaw working out in right field because obviously the departure of Kyle Tucker, which has been replaced in a lot of ways, I feel like, with Alex Bregman, who is more of a leader, more suited for this young ball club to help guide them. I think that what it comes down to with the Cubs, with any young team, is you're going to have your moments with hitting. It doesn't matter what ball club you're, especially a young ball club. But I think the Cubs, what they saw last year, where their pitching staff was able to toe the line when their team had those batting struggles, they've reinforced that pitching now. And I think that that was the most brilliant move that they could do. I think that it was a great move, in my opinion, to let Kyle Tucker go. I don't think he showed enough for them to commit to some major contract to him. This young team needed a true leader, and he was not it. I think you're better to gamble on a kid like Matt Shaw being able to fill that void along with Seiya Suzuki playing a part-time role, because now he's become the full-time DH in that rotation. And I think that you're going to see a team that should win. No, I'm going to stamp it. They're winning the Central this year over Milwaukee.
Ooh, I like that. All right, Pensman, go ahead, man.
The NHL is coming up. The Olympics is coming to a close. How do you feel about your Blackhawks in the second half coming down the stretch here? You think you guys are going to make playoffs?
I would love that, because that gives you that hope, that push. But at the same time, that's a double-edged sword, because I'm not about tanking and all that crap. I'm not for any organization, but I do understand that, sometimes you have to be bad to get good. And I still think that they're in that vein of being bad to get good. And they haven't shown me in enough to make me feel like, oh, they're a year ahead of schedule. Go push for that playoffs. I think that they're still right on par or where they need to be. And so I think that I'm not going to be hurt if they don't make the playoffs this year, because they're still growing. They still need to gain the most capital they possibly can through draft picks with young players coming up in their organization. I think sometimes when you make a big leap, it can put pressure on a young team. Okay, and they could overreach. And I just think that they're progressing right where they need to be. And the fact that it is solidified now that they have a superstar, that's without a doubt. They have a superstar, step by step by step. And the thing about it is that their superstar is a baby. Connor Bedard is a baby still. He's been in the league 3 years, and I think the kid's just turned 21. I mean, like he's not even a full-fledged man yet. So, I mean, like, I'm in no hurry when Bedard hits 25, 4 years from now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why the Blackhawks aren't making the playoffs if they're not making the playoffs. But the fact that this kid's just turning 21, he's playing in a league with grown men, and he's starting to now rise to his superstar status, I feel like the Blackhawks are right on schedule where they need to be. And if they and I don't want them to make the playoffs, as weird as that may sound, because I just think that right now playoffs would be added expectations on a young team that's not ready for it yet.
I agree. Now, Marcus, I'm going to give a blast from the past again. Doug Moore, I will tell you, that is absolutely one of the most legendary figures of basketball. He literally revolutionized basketball into what it is today. What were some of your favorite memories? Now, I'm not trying to age you too much, but what were some of your favorite memories of Doug?
Doug Moore?
Yeah.
Dude. Doug Moore? Where did you pull that out of, and why? What made you just ask about Doug Moore?
On Sportz Nutz, you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. Sorry,
seriously, explain this Doug Moore to me. Did you just make up a basketball name?
No, he's real. He was a real revolutionary player.
In what way?
So with
What did he was revolutionary because he played on a basketball team? What do you think? I know it's Black History Month, but not every black guy is history in basketball, Brandon. All right?
What he did was
I know a lot about basketball, and you just told Doug. What did Doug Moore do?
Well, he played with Jerry West. People have said he centralized the game of basketball into what it is today.
How? You said he played with Jerry West. Jerry didn't win a ring. What does that mean? He played with Jerry West. I think you're messing with me right now.
I'm dead serious. He was 87.
I wish Matt was here to see this.
I know
I am a historian of the game. I literally have a book in my closet right now that is like pantheon of NBA history, and I promise you, Doug Moore's name is not in it. I promise you, it's not.
What about with him? What he did at North Carolina? He did pretty good. He did a lot of good stuff in North Carolina as well. See, I know my guy.
What did he do? Did he win a championship like Michael Jordan? Was he James Worthy? Was he Sam Perkins?
He was the architect of the run and gun offense.
Did you know Lawrence Taylor went to North Carolina?
Actually, I didn't.
No, Lawrence Taylor went to North Carolina as well. But guess who I didn't know went there? Doug Moore.
You know what? You silly. Well, how'd you throw it in there?
I think that might have been the best. You just.
Look, I got a reaction the way I want. It was a good reaction.
Hey, have you ever heard of Gus Farrat?
Oh God, yeah. Who hadn't heard of Gus? Come on, now. It's fun making jokes.
All right. I'm so sorry.
So now here's a real question for you, though. I'm gonna ask this to Marcus. Okay?
Oh, yeah, you have a real question now.
Now this is real.
Yeah.
We've heard this for. I mean, I've run out of fingers and toes and times. How many times have we heard Adam Silver say, "Expansion's coming, expansion's coming, expansion's coming, expansion's coming in the NBA"?
Yeah.
And then he came out and made a post. Or they went out, like it was a few weeks ago. They said that they were going to vote this off season to possibly expand in Seattle and Vegas. Well, then he comes out today and says, we're not making a vote on that one. What do you think is going on with the whole situation with regards to the NBA? What is holding Adam Silver back from saying, yeah, let's go ahead and let's get Seattle back in there, because there's such a lush following for Seattle. But then also we've seen the amount of success that Las Vegas has had. We've seen it with the Golden Knights. We've now seen it with the Las Vegas Aces. I mean, and now we're about to see the Las Vegas Athletics, which is weird to say. But I mean, now we're talking about the possibility of an NBA franchise. What do you think is personally holding back Adam Silver from just going through with it and adding these teams?
Do you think Doug Moore can be the coach?
You know what? You know what?
Okay, but no. Seriously, I'm gonna tell like this. Honestly, I feel like Adam Silver has done. He came out hot when he first got the commission again, and he made what seemed to be some really good moves, and then he made some really bad moves, and now some things have happened on his watch that have been really questionable, like the Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers, and then following Dallas gets the #1 pick. That type of stuff looks real suspicious. You look at the NBA cheating scandal that's happened with Chauncey Billups, who was the coach of the Portland Trail Blazers when this report came out, and this is on his watch as well. I think that at this point he's become a lot more calculated. He is a lot more fearful of making failures, because the one thing I know that as a commissioner, the one thing you don't want to happen is that you get fired from your job. And so I think that he is doing everything to make sure that he's trying to safeguard, protect, and make sure that it all looks good on paper. But the reality is that the league the league needs a, a jump start. It's gotten a little stagnant, and with a lot of the aging players that were great in the game starting to hit their end, like Steph, LeBron, KD, Harden, Paul George, Joel Embiid. These guys are starting to hit their end. You know, you even look at guys like Jokic and Giannis. They're in their 30s now. And so, you know, I think the best thing for the league would be to create more excitement, get more fans by creating a few more franchises that are in areas that deserve them and love basketball. But there's a side of this that's not really being told enough, and that's the NBA's desire to want to push into the European market as well. They're trying to do both, and I think that that is what's convoluting the issue from expansion happening right here on U.S. soil.
All right, Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, Marcus, now that the NBA All-Star break is come and gone, which we saw a pretty entertaining matchup, better than what we've seen in many years during that game. You know, the Bulls, they're only sitting about a game and a half back from a play-in game spot. You know, I know we don't want to see it, you know, especially me, Brandon, and Matt, being Hawks and Charlotte fans, since they occupy those last two spots right now. You know, but what do you think Chi-Town needs to do to get back into this race and be a true contender for one of those playoff spots?
Hopefully nothing. Hopefully they go to the lottery. And I'm just being real. There's a reason they sold off the guys they sold off. They didn't sell them off to make it in the playoff. I believe they sold them off to call it a season. This is Cancun Bulls, not Chicago Bulls. The moment that they traded Vucevic, Kobe White, Ao, I mean, like, they signaled the white flag, did they not? The only people they kept on the team was Boo Salas and Gidney, and not for some reason, because you re-signed Patrick Williams to a ridiculous contract, he's stuck on the team. So, you know, this team, they're bottomed out, and perfectly so. Let Boo Salas continue to develop. Josh Gidney continue to develop. And let's hope that the Bulls can land a really delicious draft pick in what's supposed to be one of the deepest drafts and most talented drafts in the last 15 years. And this is what Chicago Bulls need: a star. And you're not going to get a star if you finish in the plan. So, you know what? Hats off, salute. Charlotte, go get it. Atlanta, go get it. No one's arguing with you. Chicago don't need it. We're good.
You're not getting AJ Devanza. Sorry, sir. He's gonna come to Atlanta. I'm just saying.
No. Hey, look. This draft is so talented. You got so many. The kid from Kansas. You got Boozer. You got. I mean, look. Who says that Carmelo's son ain't coming out from Syracuse? I'm just telling you, man. There is talent. Okay, and wait till the tournament kicks off. Wait till the tournament kicks off. Arenas. Wait till the tournament kicks off. All right, we're gonna find some more diamonds in the rough. Like, this draft is gonna be deep, and I think that the Bulls finally woke up. They have signaled the white flag, and they realize that this is the moment to strike. They're tanking without tanking. Smart move, because there's a lot of teams that are tanking in the NBA. We've heard this conversation. Mark Cuban even came out and told people, you know what? It's not a bad thing when franchises do that. But he wasn't lying.
Yeah, it's true. You're right on that one. Marcus, man, we always have a blast with you. Can you let everybody know where to find you and when your next episode is, sir?
Well, you definitely can't find me with Doug Moore.
You know what? I need to find that flag and just throw a flag on you guys.
Well,
You're
no,
the one that brought up Doug Moore.
No, that was
Yeah.
actually just a joke. That was literally actually a joke. It literally says in my right here. It says, "Make sure to ask this," and it says jokingly ask this question. But then it has another question.
No. It was good. I'm telling you right now, you made all of us, and I knew it. I'm like, there's no way he's being serious about some Doug Moore right now. And I'm like, no, okay, I got it. But hey, that was good. But no, everybody, Prime coverage, Sports Network, PCSN for short. You can go on YouTube. We live stream 7 days out the week. I'm on Monday. Unfiltered Sports. We're gonna be doing 7 to 9 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. Come check us out. Come check the network out. You know I love you guys at Sports Network, Sports Nuts. Make sure everyone is following and liking Sports Nuts and Prime Cover Sports Network. We love the connections. I thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon, Marcus. All right, brother.
Talk to you guys later.
Man, we appreciate you as always. Oh man, see guys, I always have a blast with him. He's a hoot. I love it. All right, so let's get going into it. This has been an absolute crazy. Well, technically, it has been a crazy week in sports, but it's kind of been a crazy last 48 hours, if you know what I mean. Now, I will, like I said to start this, I'm still in sticker shock about over this absolute mollywop and that Oklahoma softball put a severe clinic on UTEP. In case you don't know what we're talking about, Oklahoma won 34-0 in 5 innings. So it got me thinking, what was the largest margin of defeat or victory that you ever took in a sport you played? Now, you can't sit there and say past times because it's not the time that you played. I guarantee you nobody on this panel right here has played back when the Lakers and the Lakers and the Celtics were the dynasty, whoever won the most at that time back when Bill Russell and stuff. So I'm going to go to you, Shane, right away. What was the largest margin of victory and largest margin of defeat that you've ever experienced playing a sport?
Well, we had a pretty decent football team my senior year, led by Coach Steve Tannehill, Gamecock great. And we won a couple big games. I think our biggest win was like 63-3, one game. But as far as defeats, man, I can remember playing Legion ball and Sumter P-15s. They are always a good team. They had a couple former Gamecock players and pitchers on their team that we faced off against, and I believe they ended up beating us like 17-1. And then we kind of had the same deal. South Caldwell from North Carolina, right up there, Granite Falls, right up around where I'm living now, came down and played us. And it was another 16-run game. It was a higher scoring game, but it was 16 runs as well. So those were kind of the worst ones I was a part of. But kind of the worst one I remember, kind of joking with a bunch of fans, was that West Virginia Clemson Orange Bowl game. is one that stands out as a total shellacking, as you would call it.
No, correct your term. It's mollywop, please.
Mollywop, shellacking, belt to rear, whatever you want
to call it. It was not pretty. I like that. All right. So what about you, Mike? You know, what is the largest margin of victory you've been a part of and the largest margin of defeat you've been a part of?
Way before I became a YouTuber, I used to play hockey for 3 years every Sunday night at 9:00. And we were in the semifinals. My team won 7-2 against the other team. And it was awesome. I shattered the helmet. It was awesome. And one guy had a hat trick. I mean, we were shooting and scoring the light. They were so mad. They were breaking sticks. I mean, we got them so frustrated, but that's the largest I ever got to play. It was awesome.
My largest margin of victory, we were playing Centennial High School. This was in football, and we won, I think it was 56-7. My most memorable moment in that one, I literally went. So the quarterback came and it's actually the quarterback that I'm talking about is the head coach of Seattle. He went like this and he started to throw, and I batted the ball in the air, and I'm like, "Where is it?" I guess he didn't pay attention while I intercepted it and I ran it back 62 yards for a touchdown. At the end, I'm going, bah, bah, and I went over, and I got in really big trouble for that one. But it was a great touchdown. I got in severe trouble. Let me tell you, yeah, my butt had to run stadiums that night and the next day, and I was flat out beat. But
no, I was going to ask you if you were tight end or playing defense.
I was tight end and defensive end. Those are my two positions.
Right.
And the worst defeat I have ever been a part of, playing wise, was we were playing the last game of the season before the playoffs. We didn't have to play anything out. We were the number 2 seed. We didn't have to really care, so we just went out there. We lost 73-6. It was an absolute shellacking, and I mean it was bad. And then here's the funny part: is we played that team and 2 weeks later in the playoffs, and we beat them 46-0. So it just goes to show anybody can win at any given time. But that was really weird. Now the largest margin of victory that I ever did when I was coaching was basketball. We won 86-41. The largest margin of defeat I had in coaching was in football, and we lost. And this is the reason why I say it's the largest, because we lost 17-0. It was bad, and it was a team that we should have. We absolutely should have beaten, but we didn't. So that's mine. So we want to hear you guys in the chat as well. We'd love to know your thoughts on it. So let us know in the comments. We greatly appreciate it. Now, MLB season is literally rapidly approaching. Shane's actually going to mention that real soon. And every Wednesday we've covered every division of Major League Baseball. This is the last one that we're doing. It's the NL Central. Now, this division is always the quiet yet noisy one. If you don't know what that means, they quietly sneak up on you, and then they make the most noise at the last possible second. That's kind of what this division is. So here's the rules. We're going to give you our overall records for each team in this division, who we believe wins the division, and what seeding if they get into the playoffs. And we also will tell you, could they win the NL pennant, and maybe even win the World Series. So we'll talk. I'm going to go to Shane right like I always do on this first one. Shane, the teams that are on there are the Milwaukee Brewers, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Chicago Cubs. I say that because it's so silly. Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I'm going to start with you, Shane. Do with the Milwaukee Brewers. What do you think their final record will be?
Well, Milwaukee, I see them having, still a pretty decent year. I don't think that we're going to see what they did last year on the field, but I see, in that 90 to 95 win range.
I like it. All right. What about the St. Louis Cardinals?
St. Louis Cardinals, I think, are going to be the mid-tier team in this division. They made some questionable moves here in the past couple of years. So I'm really interested to see what they have this year, especially going into spring training, because it's a lot of new faces there. But I put them at around that 75 to 78 win.
And then the Chicago Cubs, we just alluded to with Marcus. What do you see them going in the direction they're going, I should say?
Well, I think that this is going to be, one of those sleeper teams like Milwaukee was last year. And like you alluded to at the beginning of this, where, this team, there's one or two teams at the top of the division, they battle it out. And then all of a sudden, hey, they're a 2 seed in the playoffs and making a deep run. So I see Chicago being that team for this division this year, and getting around that 102 win mark.
Whoa!
Wow,
that's actually impressive. Interesting on that one. All right. So what about the Cincinnati Reds? What do you see the Reds doing?
Oh, the Reds. The Reds and the Pirates are the two bottom feeders in this division. So The Reds, they've got some athletes. They've made some noise in the past, but I don't see much out of them. Probably 65 to 70 wins.
And this one's going to be the best one. I can't wait to get the mic on this one, but the Pittsburgh Pirates, the bottom feeders, literally every year I've watched baseball except for the early 80s or the 80s and the 90s. Yeah. What do you see them doing?
Oh man, I could see this Pirates team being one of these ones that we've talked about, like the Rockies last year and the White Sox the year before that.
I saw that too.
Not great, and as always, how we talk about Miami. So, but
if you're putting that kind of list, then you really got to wake up and wonder, what are we doing here?
Yeah, we're looking at about a 45 to 50 win team, I believe. Kind of bottom of the league as a whole, not just their division.
Wow. Out of all those, I know you've already kind of said it, but tell everybody who you think wins this division.
Oh, I think the Cubbies get it. I think that they can put it together, especially with the pitching that they have. All you have to do is muster up enough offense to keep it, to keep it competitive. Because with as much pitching as they have, and they've added this offseason, they should be pretty set in that manner. So definitely going with the Cubs to win the division.
Could the Cubs win the NL pennant?
I could see them possibly playing for it, just depending on the draw that they get, where the seeding is. But we're already talking, Dodgers, Phillies, Braves, and I think all of those rosters kind of have more talent and more of that chance to win that 3-game, 5-game, or 7-game series in the playoffs. So I don't think that they can get it done this year.
I got another question for you then. It's off topic on this one. Are we coming to the end of seeing Christian Yelich at Milwaukee?
Ooh, I'm not sure. Milwaukee does a great job of getting lifers, like they did with Brian Braun. Even all that he went through, he's still a lifer with the team. And Yelich was that guy after him. So I kind of see it. They do those lifers, and I could see Yelich, especially as smart as he is and as good as a ball player as he is, he'll make some concessions to stay with the team unless he really wants to go after a ring with a stacked lineup at one of these teams that's paying everybody $2 billion for the whole roster.
$2 billion a year.
Yeah.
Although unless you are the New York Mets, where you can spend trillions of dollars and still not make the playoffs, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, which is their president or GM's 41st birthday today. I saw, and
oh wow,
I think that he needs to enjoy this season, because if he makes any more moves that Cohn's not happy with, he'll be gone quick.
Look at Micro. He's like, yeah, you best believe it. All right, Mike, let's go to you. Give us your record prediction for the Milwaukee Brewers, the Brew Crew.
Well, I'm looking up stats, and we'll see if they can top last year. So, but I got them going 97 wins again.
Okay. What about the Cardinals?
Have them going about 80.
Are you going to go on the same lines with Shane here with the Chicago Cubs, or what do you predict them doing?
Got the Cubs going at 99.
So you're kind of right in the same point. Okay, I like that.
They have a Tiger Stripes media is on here. He was on the phone with me, and they got this player, and he is hitting home runs left and right in spring training ball. All the teams are practicing, but Tiger Stripes media and I were all talking, and he said this new player, I can't think of his name right now, but he's hitting bombs left and right. So if he gets hot and that offense gets hot, Shane and I might be right about the Cubs this year.
Oof. And what about the Cincinnati Reds? What do you see the Cincinnati Reds doing?
Last year, there were 83 wins. I could see them getting about 80, depending if everybody stays healthy.
And then comes the fun one, the Pittsburgh
yeah.
Pirates.
They made some moves in the offseason, but they had a chance to get Schwarber, but they didn't get a chance because they don't spend the money. But I have them going at 70 wins. They were 71-91 last year, but I have them going 70 wins this year. They just need to don't worry about the money ball situation and just go out and play ball. Take chances. You've been horrible for the last 15, 20 years. Go take chances and take risk. But
Yeah,
I can't see
mediocre.
Yeah, I can't see the Pirates doing that. So I can see them doing 70 wins.
Out of all those, I know you kind of alluded to it, but who do you think could absolutely win the NL Central?
It's between Milwaukee and Chicago, but I have Chicago winning, but we'll see.
And then do you think that the Chicago Cubs could win the NL pennant?
No.
There you have it. See, there you have it, folks.
I think they're going to go divisional round and lose to the Dodgers.
Hey, it's a real possibility. There you guys have it. That we gave you our MLB predictions for this season. What do you guys think in the comments? We're always open to hear your thoughts. All right, Shane, I want to hear your sports story, sir. So with that being said, unmute your mic and the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh yeah, well, it's acronym time. We're gonna go with WNBA, WNB or MPA, and then we're gonna go with CBA. So it just came out yesterday that there's been a submission for a new proposal submitted by the Players Association. Yesterday they were asking, I think, 27.5% of gross revenue share, which will only include about 25%, which would cut the salary cap down just under $9.5 million this year. Is their current proposal. Another issue that's been a main issue for these teams and the players is housing. Since 1999's CBA, there's always been some language in there about housing, either be it a stipend or a one-bedroom apartment that's furnished by the team for players. So that's kind of a holdup. But the biggest thing that I've heard that's been the biggest hiccup for these talks is that language between the revenue share. We're talking the players, they want a gross revenue share, and the WNBA wants a net revenue share. So to break it down for people, gross means before expenses and net means after expenses. And those numbers, the percentage numbers get bigger if you're talking about net than you would gross. But the WNBA's come out and said that, under the current proposal or the proposal that they had in December, which was like 31% of gross revenue share, that the WNBA over the lifetime of that CBA would lose $780 million over the lifetime of that. With the percentage point change in this proposal, the WNBA is still claiming that they would lose $460 million over the lifetime of this CBA. So,
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's.
Well, you know what, Shane? We've also
crazy.
alluded to this so many times. What is this? What is the phrase we coin all the time? Rome wasn't built in a day.
Oh yeah, well,
give it time.
And that's one thing that they're talking about as well. Kind of getting towards the higher salaries for the players, and kind of looking at some of this being top heavy for your players that are getting the max contracts and stuff like that, to where they can get rid of the housing stipend after the first couple years or something like that, because they're getting paid at a certain rate now, because of the revenue share and the salary cap increase. So it's kind of all trade-off, but hey, we got both sides listening at least now.
That's a win right there. That really is a win.
And there's movement. So we're not close by any means, but we're getting there.
That's
We're
right.
taking a step in the right direction.
A win. It's a win right now because they were hush was the word, and now they're talking. So let's get a resolution. That's all we need to do. We don't want to hurt the brand. And if this lockout does officially happen, it's going to hurt the brand a lot. And you saw, Shane, Mike, you've also seen this too. It takes forever when something like that happens to rebuild, and especially that last year was the first time ever that they started the season in the black zone, which is good.
Well, look at baseball, how long it took it to rebuild that.
That's right. You've got to get your bleep together to avoid hurting the brand. So, all right. So my sports story is actually kind of really quick, but really good. USA played Sweden today in the quarterfinals of the Winter Olympics hockey. And I was actually on the phone with Pinsman at this time. And he calls me and I said, don't you tell me if you know the answer. Results. Don't tell me in advance. I was only a few seconds behind him. Well, guess what? I was like, oh, they're going to win. Nope. They give up a goal 91 seconds before regulation ends. I'm like, oh my God, no, we're not doing this. Well, guys, this is how close it was to seeing USA shut them out. They had to wait till the final moments. They pulled their goalie. Pinsman was like, wow, they pulled their goalie. I was like, yeah, they just pulled their goalie. And then sure enough, pop, which by the way, Shane, I've already asked this to Mike, but did you see Sweden's uniforms? They look like Charlie Brown, don't they?
No, I didn't get to watch any of that.
Oh my God, they're like this putrid yellow. It looks like Charlie Brown's shirt. They even had the black symbols like Charlie Brown's shirt has.
Looked like Honey Dijon mustard.
Yeah, it looked horrible. But I will say this: shout out to Quinn Hughes. If you guys don't know where he plays for the Minnesota Wild. His brother is on this USA team, and man, there was a time I thought that Getzel was going to make that game-winning goal to start overtime, and it just missed. Well, Quinn Hughes hits the game winner, sends USA to the semifinals, aka the Final Four, and they play Slovakia on Friday at 3:10 Eastern. So shout out to USA Hockey, and women is coming up too. I hate to say that the Olympics is over almost. I mean, I feel like it just gets started and gets going, and then you're like,
you might as well add on to that they play for the gold tomorrow at 1:10.
Yeah, the USA women played for the gold tomorrow. It is with USA and Canada, which, by the way, I also want to give a shout out to Sidney Crosby. It is feared his season could be over. If you guys did not see it, I will tell you, viewer discretion is advised on that view. His leg did not land it landed an absolute gruesome way. This looks like this is probably the last time he competes in the Olympics in general, but just an absolute horrific injury. If it is, in fact, the season ending, darn, what a hard way to go for Sidney Crosby. But guys, definitely tune in. Now you're at the thick of it. The Olympics, unfortunately, they are almost over. So, but shout out to both men's and women's hockey for making it interesting. Mike, do you have any sports stories you'd like to share, sir?
Well, you kind of took mine, but that's all good. I was going to talk about Crosby and his injury, but you took care of that. But I hope it's not career ending. Like the season, it's whatever. But
yeah, that injury
he's 38 years old, and I know how it is when you get injured. The bones don't heal as quick as a 10-year-old or 15-year-old. So he took us out before, and now he took himself out in the Olympics. So we'll see how this injury holds up. Hopefully this is not career ending. So I'm hoping.
If you look, his leg went like that, and it
hyperextended it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I could feel it all the way here. So it was pretty gruesome on that one. But make sure you guys tune into the last parts of the Olympics. Yes, we have to wait another 4 years afterwards for a winner, but we're going to wait a couple more years for the summer, which will be held in LA. So really excited. All right, now comes the best segment there is. It is the Yes, it is the honorable mentions. What we do here is we cover or we give you 1 to 3 sports stories that usually the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of. And it's our jobs to help bring it more to light. And that's what we're doing. So, my first one, I want to give a huge shout out to the news out of the Professional Women's Hockey League this past week. And Mike, I guarantee you're going to be excited to hear this. They announced that the league is in a massive surplus. It's such a massive surplus. They have announced they are expanding from what they currently have. It's only like 7 teams to or 8 teams to starting in 2027 to 2037. They will expand a total of 36 teams.
Okay, I heard it was 15, but okay, I'll take 36.
And the cities that they are mentioning is Atlanta, Charlotte, Tampa, Miami, and even San Antonio. I'm absolutely really excited about this because this just adds to the validity that we've talked about time in and time out that women's sports is rapidly gaining the recognition it deserves. You know, I'm not just saying that because I'm a girl dad. I'm absolutely beyond excited about this. All right, Shane, give us your first honorable mention, sir.
Well, before we go into that, play that breaking news slide for me.
All right.
So, breaking news that just happened in the MLB. Bruce Meyer has been named interim chair for the Major League Baseball Players Association after Clark's resignation in the past couple of days. With the scandal going on, he was named the chair to lead them into CBA talks coming in December.
We're already here. I feel like when one ends, another one starts. It's always how it feels. It never is like, let's just all have a uniform, decisive factor for all of our CBAs. Let's just wait till one maybe comes close to a strike and then they get a deal. Then it's just good. Let's see if another one creates more stress for those fans, right?
Oh, yeah. But now to my first honorable mention, I'm going to shout out the NC State Wolfpack. Their men's basketball team took down North Carolina last night. The game was completely in control by NC State from the start. I know I called my dad, who's an alum, called him, was like, how long do you think they can keep this up? And they did it the whole game. Ended up their largest margin of victory over UNC since 1962.
Good God, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was even before my dad went there. So that's really saying a lot.
That is.
What
is Hubie Davis thinking right now when the fact that he just got absolutely throttled by an in-state rival?
Oh yeah, that, and then that game against Miami the other night too. So yeah, they're not playing good ball right now, and with Wilson being out, it's really hurting them. But that second half that State put on a show. I think the lowest point differential was like 11 or 12 points. Wow. Is as close as it got in the second half. So definitely shout out to the Wolfpack. I know my dad was proud. So yeah, definitely.
I like it. All right, Mike, give us your first honorable mention, sir.
Well, it's not actually an honorable mention, but 2001 at this date, we lost a very icon driver, number 3, the real number 3, not the fake Austin Dillon number 3, the Richard Petty grandson wannabe. We lost the icon of Dale Earnhardt Sr. this day at 2001, and because of him, they probably saved about 5 lives since that happened. Ryan Newman was in a bad accident. Austin Dillon was in a bad accident. So if that wasn't for that, but I wish Senior was alive, but it is what it is. But just want to let everybody know at this day, 2001 is when Earnhardt died.
And it's the tag along with that too, Mike. It's sad that you sometimes have to give in
I
order to
know.
get,
I
and we
know.
had to give one of the greatest racers to ever race. We had to give his life, unfortunately, to save many. I mean, in hindsight, Dale Earnhardt is still doing his thing today because he's saving so many more racers' lives.
Oh,
With
I won't go. I won't go to a race without wearing an Earnhardt shirt. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It's sad that
Yeah.
I could we've had this discussion. We can still remember like it was just yesterday when we lost Dale Earnhardt. So
I
love
just
the
want
show.
to add on. I want to add on one more thing.
Yeah, what's up?
Earnhardt, Waltrip Jr. and Senior were all 1, 2, 3 at the time, and they were sitting at the red flag. Senior said to Richard Childress on the radio, they gotta do something to these cars. If they don't, somebody's gonna lose their life. And the person that said it, well,
Lost his
they
life,
did it.
yeah. That's right.
So I wasn't sure if anybody recognized that during the race or not.
That's crazy. It was foreshadowed. And some of the most influential figures in our life, like in human history, there have been beliefs that they've had premonitions of their own demise. One of the most notorious individual figures in American history was Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
He even told his wife 2 days before he saw his death. He even predicted how he was going to die. And the last thing he did when he was walking to go to the theater, he said he told all of his, I guess you call them servants back then. I don't know what they call them, but he told them all, the hired help, basically. He said, "Thank you for everything you did. I will always remember you." And then, unfortunately, he lost his life. Dale Earnhardt Sr., metaphor shadowing. There's been so many unfortunate foreshadowing claims that have come out, and it makes you wonder, higher powers to be, let them know, hey, your time was coming. Who knows? My next honorable mention, a huge shout out to this year's college basketball season. Now, this one I'm really eager to share with everybody. Now, according to the Nielsen report, for those who don't know what the Nielsen report, everything you do, whether it be on the internet, whether it be watching on TV, whatever, it is tracked. You have a company, the Nielsen report. They watch everything you do. Just think about it for a second. You're somebody who literally watches everything you do. Someone's watching us right now from the Nielsen to give our ratings. It happens everywhere. Well, according to the Nielsen report, the viewership numbers for this college basketball season are as follows. Number one is ESPN. They are up by 14.9%. FS1 is in second place. Actually, third place. Well, no, second place. They're up by 23%. Now, this one, I'm going to blow your socks off. Fox Sports is up the highest that it's ever been at 34.8%. They blew the absolute socks out of everybody. Well, the CW, yes, the CW has even gotten into, they're up by 4.8%. This tells me that this season is going to go down as one of the most
competitive.
One of the most competitive, influential seasons that we've seen in quite some time. So shout out to everybody who has been watching college basketball. I feel like we're close to saying that college basketball is back. Remember, for a long time it was just lull. You wouldn't watch the regular season, but you'd go watch the NCAA tournament, and even then you were still kind of just because there were so many who would just up and leave, and they were.
Do you think Miami's helping that?
No, I don't. I would like to. I mean,
okay.
The numbers I'm sure are through the roof in Ohio. I have no doubt in that.
Okay, I don't know if Miami had a part of that.
I think if Miami goes 31-0 this season, if they finish 31-0, they win the MAC tournament, and they go to the NCAA tournament and they win. They're only listed as a 12. The highest seed they're listed as 11. The lowest their seed is a 14. But
right.
If they do win one, and then they go into the next season and they do kind of eerily the same, then you really start thinking, well, yeah, that maybe they are putting a lasting. And for people in our industry, we look for patterns, and one and done's like that. It's not like something like, oh my God, that's it right there. That's it. No, because it took 4 years, maybe 5 years to get all these players to that point, and then they're going to leave. And you go right back to it again. But if you start seeing a pattern, then you start wondering, oh, maybe this is real. But then, Shane knows this term. One's okay, two's a crowd, three is something important. Then you got to really wonder. So maybe we're starting to see, the MAC making a lasting impact. And that's hard to say for me because the MAC literally gets the short straw on everything. It is written in the college football playoffs. No team from the MAC can make the CFP unless they've gone back-to-back years of undefeated. And then they will possibly consider. It is absolutely garbage writing. It's stupid that they get the short straw, but some schools they benefit from it. Like look at Sacramento State having to spend $25 million for a 5-year deal for a possibility of not growing anywhere with the Max. I mean, it's there, so we'll see. All right, Shane, give us your next honorable mention, sir.
My next honorable mention goes to Patrick Mahomes. We all know the $500 million contract he signed a couple years ago. He went in and restructured his deal to, I believe, most everything's going to be signing bonus money now, but he was going to cause a $78 million cap hit against the team this coming year, but with the restructuring, they freed up $45 million in cap.
46.2.
Well, yeah. So,
but still, that's amazing.
Yeah,
seriously.
But they freed up all that cap space. So shout out to him for being a teamer and saying, hey, we need the cap space to make some moves and get back into the playoffs and possibly Super Bowl contention again. So be it who knows when he may come back from his injury, but he's making a splash now by hopefully making the team better in the end.
Zilla, it's good to see you. Hey, Shane, I'm going to ask you a question. You just talked about the Chiefs. Do you think the Dolphins can listen and do something about Tua? Because did you see if they don't get rid of Tua, did you see the cap hit that the Dolphins get popped with? $99.8 million. $99 million cap hit.
Yeah.
What on earth?
Yeah,
that's
dead money.
That is
that's one of the things. Yeah, and that's what you're going to see, especially with this Tua situation. You're going to see a lot more teams. If they're going to hand out these big contracts, there's going to be language in those contracts to performance. If you're not performing this well up to a top 10 quarterback kind of deal, then within 3 years of the 7-year deal, we're going to talk about restructuring or a trade. It's kind of how I see it being now, especially with with how it's gone with Tua and a couple other quarterbacks that we've seen here in the past couple of years.
Atlanta. Hey, let's just put this. Let's also put this up too, Shane.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I said it because it's true. Harry Fontenot,
you're real quiet, Atlanta.
But here's the question though, Shane. Also, would you fire Miami's GM just because that was absolutely the biggest bonehead decision? Think about this for a second. The team's salary cap was like what, 170 million? Hello, you just had $99 million account towards your salary cap. What are you going to do next? You got rid of Tyreek Hill. You just got rid of Jalen Waddle. You got rid of Bradley Chubb. Like, what are you going to have? You're going to have the turf. That's it. Who are you going to play against the turf? Yeah, go turf. Miami they didn't think this thoroughly through. But then, did you also see that people are saying the only way a team is going to bite is if Miami forks out 3/4 of the dead cap right off the bat just to trade? That's
insane. Well, that's one of those things that they're gonna have to deal with. They put themselves in this position, of course.
Yep.
What 3 years ago when he signed the deal?
And I'm sure we've all said the same thing. That was a stupid decision.
Yeah, but the outlook was a whole lot more positive. You can't, especially with some success that they've had in the past couple of years. Be it before Tua got injured and stuff like that. They had an explosive offense, and we're a decent defensive team. So back 2-3 years ago, that contract made sense at the time, and that's why I'm saying that the contract language is going to be changed with these major deals for these quarterbacks, to where if they're not performing to a certain standard, then a renegotiation or a trade clause is going to come into effect. So I don't see a firing because of this, per se, but I see, that this is going to change the way major money contracts are going to be handled for high profile players.
Absolutely. And the reason why I said Atlanta is because this was one of the smart decisions, is they converted literally all the remaining guaranteed money that Kirk Cousins needed into a signing bonus. So now
you can get Tua.
Whatever. if they kick Kirk Cousins, which it is widely expected it's going to happen, and when they do kick him, the dead salary cap is $1.5 million. I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that one. Like,
it's the same thing that Patrick Mahomes just did. You restructured the deal.
Yeah, and
that was the player's decision to help restructure it too, with, of course, pressure from other places. Like, look, okay, either you restructure and we try to find you another home, or you restructure and we try to get players in to compete. That's kind of the two situations that you're in here. So it's like, okay, we can restructure and hopefully find you a place to be traded, or if we're going to take the cap hit, we're just going to keep you on the team because no telling what Penix will do.
Isn't that's what's called a double-edged sword? You're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't. That's the way it is. All right, Mike, give us your next honorable mention, please, sir.
I'm going to add one more thing. Brandon and I always talked about this around people that get contracts. Anybody that gets contracts always gets hurt. And when Tua got that contract, he got those 3 concussions.
The fencing, yep.
So my second honorable mention is for the old icon from number 23 of the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan's got 6 NBA championships. Matt got one wedding ring, and now he's got 1 Daytona 500 win as an owner. So those rings are stacking up. So congratulations of Michael Jordan winning the Daytona 500 as an owner. So those rings keep stacking up.
Amen, Mr. Model Citizen there, Matthew.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm impressed by what LeBron James is doing.
God.
Nothing.
My last honorable mention, I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of teams. Well, the first one is my Lady Eagles basketball team, the AU team that I coached. All 8 girls. They absolutely did amazing. We did, unfortunately, our season did come to an end. We lost 24-20, but I'm so proud of these girls. And I'm going to give another shout out also on top of that. My daughter, Addison, scored the most points she has ever scored. She scored 7 points in this game, and she had 4 rebounds. She had 4 steals, and she had 2 assists. So shout out to the Lady Eagles on an amazing season. But second shout out is going to go to the Powdersville Piranhas softball team. Yes, my daughter keeps going with the sports. My wife, shout out to my wife because she is one of the coaches for Addison's softball team. So the boat gets going now. Now we go from basketball. We're now in softball. So shout out to the Lady Eagles and shout out to the Lady Piranhas. Really excited. Can't wait to see what transpires. It's going to be a really good team. Regardless, really excited. All right, Shane, give us your final honorable mention. Good sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I'll do a little 2-part too, because I want to congratulate my cousin from up the hill, Julie Ray. 6th grader, made the middle school softball team, predicted as a starting first baseman as a 6th grader. So congratulations to her goes out for sure. And
yes.
And
softball
go
rules.
Big Blue. Yeah, go Big Blue.
But softball rules. Just saying.
Yeah. But my last shout out, honorable mention, is going to go to the Wolf Dog at the Olympics today. stumbled out away
Did you
from
see
its
that
owner.
foot too? That foot
Yeah.
was perfect.
Oh yeah, but the dog got away from its owner. They originally thought it was somebody violating the strict no pets policy there at the Olympics, but it was actually a local whose dog just got away and was following that camera there
That's pretty cool, though.
at the start finish line, and so it's pretty friendly. So nothing went awry. It was just a cool moment to see, and if you haven't seen it, definitely go out there and look at the pictures, especially the thermal picture of him crossing the line and everything.
Yeah, that paw. Well, wait, Shane,
But-
this is the second animal that was mentioned. There wasn't there a squirrel at some point that was mentioned?
No, there's a mountain goat that keeps
Okay.
climbing the ski jump tower.
That's what I was thinking.
They try to run it off, and it just keeps coming back from what they say. But
He said, "I'll show you."
yeah. Well, they say goats are stubborn. That's why you call people the old goat.
I love it. Oh,
But definitely, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. And I could say this will be a memorable Olympics for not just the athletes, but for the furleets too.
for the dog. That dog's in cloud nine. He got mentioned on the world's greatest stage. Yeah, love it. Awesome. All right, Mike, give us your final honorable mention, good sir.
If you haven't paid attention to my channel, I've been covering every game of the Olympic hockey that covered. So if you guys don't pay attention who the U.S. men is, I like to give a big shout out to Mike Sullivan because he was the Penguins coach at one time. Now he's a Rangers coach, but what you
I
guys
thought that was him standing in the back. I was like, that looked like him. Oh my God, he's aged.
it was him and John Torlito or whatever.
He's aged.
Torlito.
Boy,
Yeah.
is he ever aged.
Yeah, no, but that's who's coaching the U.S. men. So give huge shout out to Mike Sullivan. See what happens when you put a good roster together. It's just his time in Pittsburgh was time. So when it's time for you to go. So, but
You got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here.
let's go. So that's my honorable mention for Mike Sullivan.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Guys, I want to say I'm giving you another one. I have to give another one. I'll mention to this team right here. We have, so for those who don't know, this gentleman right here is actually the director of the show. Shane is the director. He tells me, watch your time. He literally lets me know, hey, time's coming up. Matt is our producer. Matt puts everything you see, the background, the shorts, the introduction, the outros, that's Matt. Matt does that. That's his thing. Mike, my guy Pinsman right here, my brother from another mother, he's a hockey dude. And, nothing against Shane, but it's nice to sit on the phone and just talk hockey. And we will tell you, Mike and I talk on the phone whenever it's either the Lightning, heck, we even watched the freaking Anaheim Ducks. We've watched a lot of hockey together on the phone. And it's like, hockey is just, it's so good to be back. But then also our guy, Bryan Pettit, our statistician, y'all, this dude can name stats like no tomorrow. I love it. I'm so honored to have him.
I actually have a stat that he talks about who knows what.
Yeah, but I also want to give a shout out to our newest member, Mr. Ben Willis. Y'all, I promise you, we have the absolute most solid team you will ever find with this show. And I want to give another shout out to our guy, Ralph Williams of RW Media. He is a part of the Sportz Nutz Network. This is it. We are going to blow the socks off everybody. So I want to give a shout out to Shane. I'm going to give a shout out to you, Mike. I'm going to give a shout out to Matt, to Ben, and to Bryan. So this is just a Coke Zero, but I'm tipping my drinks to you guys for an amazing run. So, guys, we've had so much fun. By the way, Clemson has crawled back into it, only down by 8. So we shall see. Does Brad Brownell finally get a win? We'll see. All right, so here's what's coming up. We have an episode 198 on Friday. This Friday the 20th. We have it. But then episode 199, that gum, is Monday the 23rd. But this one, is the biggest one right here. The big one, episode 200. Yes, that 200 moment has hit. It'll be Wednesday the 25th. We have our good friend Tony Gladstone of the Wire to Wire Sports Network. He's going to join us, talk to us about the World Baseball Classic. He's going to talk about the MLB spring training because, as you just heard, it's knocking on the door, literally knocking on the door. He's going to talk to us about what's going on with the Women's Professional Baseball League when the new updates are coming. Which, by the way, they've already said they're committing to expanding 4 more cities after next year. So, really excited about that one. But then episode 201, Friday the 27th. Our good friend Peter Blake of the Sports Web, he will be back. Remember, Peter Webb came on when Shane and I did our training days with the Sportz Nutz. He talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the NFC South. So he's going to come on. He's going to give us the takes on the NFL draft that's coming up, the expectations for the season, and a whole lot more. Peter is a blast. I have a lot of fun talking with him, so make sure you guys tune into him. We have a lot more episodes lined up, but I want to let everybody know that the season 5 finale will air on episode 204, which is March the 6th. And then we will take a week or 10 days, whatever. I want to come back on the 13th, Friday the 13th, but we'll see. But then we have season 6 start.
No. Never come back on Friday the 13th.
So we'll see. We will keep you guys updated on that one, but we have a lot more exciting sports coverage coming. You're going to see Shane most likely going to see some Asheville Tourist baseball games. We're going to be going to some Atlanta Braves games. We're going to be going to Greenville Drive. We might even go to the Hub City Spartanburgers, check them out, and the Gwinnett Stripers. You never know what we are going to cover. We're going to be trying to get a lot more racing coverage going on too. So Shane and Bryan will also be there, more like Shane, because Shane is able to do that real quick. So you'll see a lot more racing stuff going on too. Y'all, just because football's over don't mean anything. Sports still goes. So we got a lot to cover. We're really excited. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to this absolute amazing episode and great season so far.
And you might see me at a Yankee Stadium. I don't know. We'll see.
There you go. See,
you might.
We're gonna get there, and I promise you guys, we ain't done yet. So, with that being said, for everybody who tuned in, for our guy Matt, who always tells you don't get flagged in the game of life. If you do, we ain't bailing you out. Shane, give us your final goodbyes, sir.
Oh yeah, well, as always, we enjoy talking sports and ball with each other, but we do appreciate all the fans and listeners and viewers out there that we do get. Man, it's truly an honor, Brandon. You didn't pat yourself on the back for all that you do, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you some of that love right there. But
Thank you.
But as always, may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease. Yes, we are at 3,444 to be exact on the subscriber list. So that really is yes. I've been pushing hard to get people to follow us and everything, but that goes to the whole team. This whole team is ironclad. We're literally the best of the best. So, Mike, give your final goodbyes, sir.
Well, I'd like to thank Marcus for coming on. As always, I'd like to thank everybody tuning in. If you're going to watch this later, please subscribe. So I know not everybody can get us when we're live, but if there's a lot of hate in the world, just walk the other way, respect each other. So enjoy the show, enjoy the upcoming shows. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 2,500 by the end of the year, and subscribe to the Sportz Nutz, trying to get to 4,045, something like that. So.
Amen to that one. Oh, man. As I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down. Why? It's the greatest sports day there ever was. You guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you again, seriously, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you again on Friday. Until then, y'all have a fantastic evening. Stay safe with each other. Love each other. And we'll talk to you soon. Good night.